Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. Today we're going to do a yet another custom palette, and today we're going to do a custom summer palette, especially with like spring transitioning into summer season. I had done like my custom spring palette in this channel before, and I'll link it in the iCards above for you guys to check it out. But I absolutely loved that idea of custom creating my palette with the shades that I absolutely love. And I have included all like duochromes, multichromes, some beautiful mattes. And I love the idea of like the summer palette, especially when summer comes into my mind. I really love a lot of like warm tone shades. I really love a lot of like special shades. So basically what I did is I went with like a 15 pan eyeshadow palette layout. So I'm going to discuss 15 custom eyeshadows because I feel like this is a good size of a palette and you can get a good variety, which I am all up for. If I am buying an eyeshadow palette, it needs to have variety in it. So I think this would give a lot of variety. So that's what I went for. The shades that I'm going to choose are from like different palettes. So I won't be able to like just give you an exact idea how it's going to look in a palette, but I can give you like an idea. This is how the palette is going to look like. It's not going to be exactly the same because I just created the similar vibe with the single shadows that I have, but it's going to look somewhat like that. So if you are interested into seeing how are these going to look all together, then please keep on watching. So the first shade in the palette that I want to include was like definitely a multichrome shadow. And this is like the first multichrome warm tone shade. And this would be Luna from the Odin's Eye Dragon palette, the red dragon palette. Now, this is the shade that I'm talking about. So you can see it goes from like green to a warm red, kind of a multichrome. It has a lot of gold in it. It's a beautiful shade, especially on the eyes. It reflects and it gives so much dimension. It's unlike other. So let me show it to you guys. How am I gonna show the swatch? Yeah, let's do that. And I don't know how much you can see it, but like in the viewfinder, I can see a lot of red for you guys, but when I see personally, I see a lot of green. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is a beautiful red to a green to a gold shifting eyeshadow. I'll make sure that I'll put these swatches in the outside lighting too so that you can see the shifts. And I'll do that towards the end of the video. And also I would do 2 looks using this custom palette on my eyes. That is why I do not have any eyeshadow today. So it's only because I will do this towards the end. So that was our first shadow. Now, as you can see that this is a beautiful like a shimmer multichrome, obviously. So to complement that, I really need a deepening warm tone red shade. And I thought this shade, which is Fire from the palette, would complement that eyeshadow palette, like the custom eyeshadow palette, really well. So I'm going to swatch this shade, which is Fire from the same Odin's Eye Red Dragon palette. And let's do that. And it's a beautiful burgundy red shade. Pretty awesome to like deepen any shade out. You can see the pigment is absolutely stunning. That would be my second shade of the palette. Look at those 2 shades. Like I can create the whole look by just those 2 shades. It's stunning. Now the next shade that I wanted to include in the palette is basically a lighter shimmer. Stunning as a topper shade, stunning as an inner corner shade, stunning to just give dimension to any eye look. And this is from Luxy Beauty. And the shade name is called Angel Wings. Now I don't know if you can see that shift or not, but this is totally such a superb shade. It can go with cool tone looks. It can definitely go with warm tone looks because it does have variety of shimmers running through it, and you have to experience this to understand how dimensional the shadow is. So let me swatch it for you guys. It's just so pretty. Like, I don't know if you can see that or not. Like, look at the residue on my hand. Stunning. And that is how Angel Wings look. Look how shiny it is, how shifty it is. I would say it definitely has like green shimmer or a greeny bluey shimmer running throughout it, but it is definitely more of a neutral shade too, that you can just wear it by itself by deepening it out with any shade in the outer corner or on the crease. Absolutely stunning. Now let's move on to some of the warmer shades in the palette, which can go beautifully as like a crease shade. And for that, I definitely wanted to include like a mustardy, yellowy brown shade in my custom palette, especially for summer season, because I love to wear those shades in the crease. Now for that, I took this shade from the New Yorker shade from the ABH Breezy palette. This palette definitely has such beautiful tones, and I definitely wanted to include this shade. And this is called New Yorker, as I said. It's mainly like a mustardy brown shade. How pigmented the shade is, it's unlike other, like such a beautiful shade. Look at that. Oh my god. I really feel like this shade is like such a necessary shade in the palette. Love it. Like absolutely love it. Because I feel like with this kind of shade, you can go like pretty warm tone, pretty neutral, whichever direction you want to take it, you can definitely use this. This can act beautifully as a one and done shade, and just top it off with like this kind of a shimmer. It's so pretty, so pretty. Okay, let's move on. Now the next shade in the palette is from Pretties for Your Face, and this shade I definitely wanted to include, and this is the shade called Brocade. The shine on this, the dimension on it is unlike other. And nowadays, like people, I feel like people were always into greens. It's just that I was not into greens, but this is the green that I can like relate to. I really love, if I want green, I want it to be sparkly, shiny and shifty, and I love this. And I thought that with that multi-chrome shade, the first shade that we swatched, you can pair this with that too, and it will look stunning. And you should see, look at that. It's stunning. Okay, let me swatch it for you guys. Look at the shine. Am I crazy, or can you guys see it? Like, look at the shine. Are you kidding me? And again, this is Brocade from Pretties for Your Face. Oh, can you feel me? Can you feel me? Because oh my god. Now the next shade in the palette, I wanted to include some rosy tones in the palette too. So I wanted to go with this shade, which is called Creme de Coco. Now this, when you see in the pan, it looks like a warm tone brown, right? Which it is, but it also has a little hint of like pink and rosiness to it, which is what like makes this such a unique shade. And let me swatch it for you guys so that you can see it. It's so beautiful. You can pair it with like orangey tones, so it can take whatever shimmer you're putting, it can complement that shimmer in such a beautiful way, because I feel like this can act like an orangey shade, it can act like a rosy shade, it can act like a brown shade. The way you want to take it, you can really take this to another level altogether. And that is the shade Creme de Coco from Glam Light Chocolate Martini palette. Look at that. That with that green. Oh, so beautiful. Even this shade with this lighter shimmer shade, the Angel Wings. Are you serious? This deepened it out with that dark burgundy shade and any shimmer on top. Am I right or am I right? Now it's time to move on to some special shades again. And the next two shades in the palette is from It's Belle Cosmetics, the Break the Rules palette. And the two shades that I'm going to include is this one, which is Stay Radical, and this shade, which is called Bold. I feel like these two would be such an accent shade in my summer palette. I definitely wanted to include that. And this is such a beautiful duochrome that can transform anything, any look. It depends on what matte you're putting underneath. It is stunning, and by itself it's even more beautiful. And this hot pink shade, and it shifts to like an orangey. Oh my goodness, it's stunning. Like this palette altogether, it's such a beautiful duochrome palette. If you are interested in this, I do have like a coupon code with them, and oh my god, you will definitely not be disappointed, even if you do not want to use my code. But this palette is stunning, and the shift is unreal. Like, I've never seen these shades before. When you see it in the palette, that looks like an orange, right? It has such beautiful like green shimmer. It has some pink in it. I cannot call it as a duochrome shade. I feel like it's so close to a multi-chrome shade. It's stunning. And this is the shade called Stay Radical. Look at that. And this on a black base, it changes to a green. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'll link a video in the iCards above for you guys where I make my own like custom multi-chrome shade, and I use that shade. It's stunning. Okay, let's move on to the other shade, which is called Bold from the palette. this beautiful hot pink shade. If you guys know me, you know I'm not a big fan of like hot pinks, but this is truly special shade and I love to wear this in summertime. I feel like this is a pink that has like orange in it, it has some peach in it, it has some pink reflex in it. It's stunning. Look at that. And that's the shade Be Bold from the Break the Rules palette from It's Spell Cosmetics. How am I going to fit all these shades? I probably should have started from here. I don't know why. Why did I not? I do not know. Let me wipe off my fingers so that I don't transfer my shades from one shade to another. Because now we're going to dive right back into the mattes. Okay, so the next matte shade is a beautiful transitioning matte in my opinion. And this is Irish Cream from the Glam Light Chocolate Martini palette. Now, if you'll see, it looks like a pale, I don't know, like Irish cream shade, right? It's such a beautiful transitioning shade. You can definitely pair this with like pinky looks. You can definitely pair this with like warm tone looks. That's why I wanted to include this shade. So let me swatch it for you guys. And these shadows are stunning. Now, I don't know how much you can see it, but you can see that pale pinky peachy shade. And that's Irish Cream, this one. Such a beautiful transitioning shade. Love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that. Ah, stunning. Now the next shade in the palette is called Social Butterfly. And this is an absolutely beautiful shade. If you like warm copper tones, you absolutely need this in your life. And this can, I don't know, this has so much reflect and dimension to it. It was so surprising to me when I initially used this shade. It just took my breath away, and this has been like a constant shade that I use for summertime. Like, I love it. Look how pigmented that is. Like, it's stunning. And that is Social Butterfly. It's a beautiful bronzy copper shade. I feel like I dip into that shade so much, like so much in the summer season. Like, I cannot even say. It definitely has like a pinky tone to it, like a rosy tinge to it, but it's definitely more copper and it's metallic. It's absolutely metallic on the eyes when you wear it. Like, the shine is absolutely breathtaking. Stunning. I cannot. Okay, the next shade in the palette, I definitely wanted to get into some purples, but a little bit more on like a lighter lavender purple with a green shift to it. And I thought this is such a perfect shade to pair it with. And this is Ube from Luxie. I clearly have a good dent going on. And it's because it's such a beautiful shade. You know, I am so much into purples, and this is definitely a special purple. Definitely has green in it, and it creates so much of dimension. It's stunning. Let me swatch it for you guys. And it's a smooth shimmer. It definitely doesn't emphasize any texture on your eyes. It's lovely. So this is Ube. Oh my God. The dimension is to another level. It definitely is more on like that toppery side. So if you pair it with like a glitter glue, it'll be 10 times more like effective. But by itself also, it's absolutely stunning. You can clearly see that purple to a green flip. Oh my God. Beautiful. I really cannot. Make this palette for me. Is any of the companies watching me? Call this girl out. I can help you create some beautiful palettes. Now the next shade is a matte shade, and I wanted to complement those purpley tones with a little more on like a mid-tone matte shade. So I thought of including this shade, which is called Girls Night Out from the Glam Light Chocolate Martini palette. Now this can definitely act as a brown, but it has so much of mauviness to it. It's beautiful. You have to like see it in a swatch to understand how beautiful it is. It's a very mid-tone chocolatey brown shade, which I personally love to pair with my purples. And in my terms, I call these like pinky brown shades. Again, my favorite kind to wear as a one and done shade. If you can see that, like, it's such a pinky brown mauvey shade. Oh my God. And I feel like that can go beautifully with these lighter tone mattes. It can beautifully complement those like pinky tones, those rosy tones. so well. Even if you want like a grungy look, this matte with those deeper tones would be stunning. Oh my god, love it. I'm running out of room and I have 3 more to swatch. Okay, let's move on. So the next shade in the palette, I definitely wanted like a deep dark neutral brown shade in my palette. And just to complement, because when you see this palette right now, you can only see like one deep dark red shade, and I don't want one deep shade to complement all the eye looks, because it's gonna turn into like a burgundy tone eye if you pair it with any eye look. So I definitely wanted a neutral brown shade also, just to ground everything together, especially because we have those greens in place. So I think that would complement this eyeshadow palette really well. So for that, I'm gonna swatch this shade, which is called Hugo, from the same Amrezy palette from ABH. And I think this is such a beautiful, I would say, eggplant brown shade. And this is stunning. Like, this goes as deep as you can get. Like, you definitely, let me swatch it here. You can definitely like replace this to a black shade, because this is more or less like a brown black shade, especially because it has those eggplanty tones in it. I don't know why did I swatch with that multichrome shade, because it's definitely mixing with that multichrome, but it is a matte shade. Okay guys, that's totally my mistake, but you can see that like it's such a deep dark shade that can complement so many of these shimmer tones. Oh my god, stunning. Like, absolutely stunning. And even if you do not have that Amrezy palette, I would say this shade is very similar to that. And this is the Glamlight Chocolate Martini palette. And this shade is called Dark Chocolate. Very similar. Okay, 2 more shades. The next shade in the palette is again one of my favorite shades from Pretty's For Your Face. And this is called Nitro. And this is actually a deep blue shade. And it has a strong purple shift to it, and it also has so many other dimensions that I cannot even say, but it is definitely like a cool toned blue gunmetal shade, but it has a strong purple shift. Like, I know that you can see a lot of purple, but you can see this blue. This is how I feel this looks in front of me, but it also has those gunmetal shade. Oh my god, stunning. Like, absolutely breathtaking. Again, you have to see this in person to understand how dimensional it is. Again, I do have a code with Pretty's For Your Face also. Whichever code you want to use, I'll link everything in the description box below for you guys to check it out. But let me swatch it for you guys. Oh my god, this is stunning. I don't know how much you can see it. Like, can you see that? That blue to a purple shifting shade? That is Nitro. Oh my god. Again, from Pretty's For Your Face. 1 more shade to go. Where am I going to swatch it? I have no idea, but this palette looks absolutely beautiful in my opinion. Oh my god. Okay. Now the last shade that I wanted to include. When I see this color story, I feel like if it is a summer palette cannot be complete without a dark brown chocolatey shimmer shade. And for that, I definitely wanted to include this shade, which is called Chocolate Liquor from the Glamlight Chocolate Martini palette. Now, you guys saw I used a lot of Glamlight Chocolate Martini shades today, and it's for a reason. Like, for me, this is totally a summer palette. Even if you do not want to like buy Nitro, this blue to a purple shifting shade, you have a beautiful bluey purpley shifting shade here also in the Glamlight Chocolate Martini palette. You have this shade which mimics a lot of that Social Butterfly shade. So I would say if you want to get a similar vibe, Chocolate Martini would give. Oh my god, this is so creamy. So creamy. Look at that. I love these tones. Can you even imagine like a chocolate smoky eye? It'll be stunning. I cannot wait to play with these shades. So again, this is the entire palette swatched for you guys. Again, let me give you a close-up. And now I'll give you a close-up of these swatches in the sunlight and the outside lighting so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension and the shades that we went through with this like custom palette. I love these tones. Now it will be very challenging for me to see what am I going to use on my eyes today. Let's start because these are some beautiful tones. I already have liner on my eyes. Just came back from church, so that's why. So ignore that. And I basically do have, if you see something on my crease, that's basically the New Yorker shade from the Umbrizi palette, the mustardy brown shade that I chose for the palette. So I thought of like just using that just because I wanted something on my eyes. So we're gonna build it off from that. So let me again go with that New Yorker shade because I just did a slight bit of it. So I'm gonna put that as my crease shade and just blow it down on the crease. Okay, is it too shocking? I think it would be a little shocking for you guys because I'm gonna go with greens. Yeah, but before that, let me just take a little bit of NYX Glitter Glue just because I don't want it all over my face, especially because I've done my face makeup. So let's apply that on the center of my eyelid because I just want it in the center because I want to use as much of the eyeshadow as I can on both of the eye looks. Okay, now I'm going to take that Brocade shade from Pretty's For Your Face, this beautiful green shade, and I'm going to take that on a flat brush, the same brush where we applied the glitter glue with. Look how sparkly that shade is. Like, you cannot deny how stunning the shade is and how dimensional it is. My God. Stunning. And once you apply like a glitter glue to stick onto it, then it's not moving anywhere. It's not flaking on my face, which we all love. To deepen up the outer corners, I want to go with that reddy shade, the maroon shade. And this is Fire from Odin's Eye. A beautiful reddy maroony shade. So let's take that. I'm going to tap off the excess and then just tap off the shade on the outer corners and then blend it out with that beautiful green that we applied on the center of our eyelid. And I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line too. Such a beautiful burgundy shade. I'm just tapping it just to place the eyeshadow, I'm not blending it much. And then I'm going to go with that Luna shade because I know I love that. And I'm going to take that in my inner third of the eyelid and then mix it with this green shade. Can you see the dimension? It's stunning. I'm going to create like a line going on top of that green shade. And I'm going to take that Brocade shade once again just to tap over the maroon shade, the burgundy shade, so that we don't lose that because that's stunning. So I'm again going to go with that beautiful green shade, the Brocade shade, and just tap on top of that maroon shade. Just so that there's a good gradient going on. Loving that. For my inner corner, I want to take this shade, which is called Stay Radical. The beautiful shade. It's like a peachy pink green shimmer shade. And I'm going to take that on like a smaller definer brush. And I'm going to apply that on the inner corner. Look how beautifully it pops. It's stunning. And I'm also going to take that on my lower lash line on the inner third. And I'm also going to sweep that a tiny little bit on top of that Luna shade. Just to give something. And it can like fade into that Luna. Should not do too much, but I cannot deny I'm having too much fun. Oh my God, love it. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. I know I have liner, so I'm just going to finesse it out. Look at this. I'm loving it. And that's my final eye look. Okay, now let's move on to the other eye because I cannot wait. For the other eye, I'm going to start with this Irish cream shade on my crease. I know I have a little bit of New Yorker, but that's okay. I'm just going to put that Irish cream right on top of it because this is a very light shade. I mean, it definitely is very close to my skin shade, but with like a hint of peach and a pink to it. Like that. And now I'm going to go with this shade, which is called Girls Night Out, which is that mauvey brown shade. And I'm going to apply it again to my crease, but a little more lower than the Irish cream shade. I'm going back and forth with that Irish cream shade and the Girls Night Out shade, just to blend everything together and there's no harsh lines, just like that. And I'm going to apply the same shade, Girls Night Out shade, on my lower lash line. Okay, I want to do something similar, but not exactly similar, obviously. So I want to first take this shade, which is called, okay, let's take this. This is the Chocolate Liquor shade. And I'm going to take this on the flat definer brush and I'm going to put that on the other side of the green shade that we applied from this side. But I'm going to apply this more closer to the outer corners, going up to the half of my lid. Because I love this chocolate shimmer shade. I really do. And I don't want to miss this opportunity of using it. You can see how beautiful and smoky that is. Like, it's stunning. That. And now I'm going to take deep dark brown shades, the Yugo from the palette, the Umbrizi palette. Tap off the excess and apply that close to the outer corner, just to blend that chocolatey brown shade into the eye. Again, just a smooth transition is all that I'm looking for. Basically placing the eyeshadow, not much of blending happening because I am going to go with another blending shade just to blend everything together. And I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line, just on the outer corners, just like that, just so that everything connects together. Now going back with that Chocolate Liquor shade and just intensifying that and melting it with that brown shade on the outer corners. And now I'm going to take this shade, which is Creme de Coco, this one, and just with a tiny fluffy brush, and I'm going to take that, just dip it lightly and then just go over the edges with that. And that will give more of like a rosy brown shade in the crease. And will melt with that chocolatey brown shade very beautifully. Going to take that same shade on my lower lash line. And now for the inner part of the lid, I want to go with that Social Butterfly shade. So I'm basically going to take it on my fingers and then just tap it and melt into the chocolatey brown shade, the Chocolate Liquor shade that we had here. Look how dimensional that shade is. Like, it's beautiful. So this is more of like a chocolatey but intensified eye. I don't know. Now I'm going to go with this shade, which is called Angel Wings from Luxie. This one. And that's too much. That's too much. Don't need that much. I'm going to take that on my inner corners. Oh my God. And I'm again going to swoop that on top of that shade, which was Social Butterfly. Can you see that? Oh my God. And I'm doing all these things so that you can see a lot of these shades on my eye, because this is totally outside my comfort zone. Totally. Okay, now for the lower lash line, let's do Ube, because I've used Nitro on this channel before. So I'm going to take that Ube shade with the same like small definer brush and take that on my lower lash line, especially the inner third of my lower lash line. And that would give like a hint of purple on the lower lash line. Totally unnecessary. I think I just killed that. I'm going to take that brown shade again, the Yogo shade from the Umbrizi palette that we initially used in the outer corners. Just went over that, so it's not too much of shimmer. But that's how the looks are looking like. Let me finish it off with some liner and mascara and I'll come right back. So this is my second look. More of a neutral look, but more neutral glam. It'll be a crime not to use these sparkly, shifty eyeshadows, especially when I'm making my custom palette, right? So that's how everything is looking. Very, very similar, like I would say in eye look, but different tones. This more of like a green, reddy green shimmery eye, and this is more of a neutral glam eye. I love the way both of these look. Like, I really do. Let me just intensify my lip, because why not? I think I should go a little more neutral or a little more muted, So this is NYX Soft Matte in Los Angeles. So yes, that's how our eyes have turned out. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these two eye looks that I created with my custom palette that I created for summer season. If you are interested in checking out my spring custom palette, I'll link it in the iCards above as I mentioned earlier. But yes, if you did like this video, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!